It's time for America Outdoors Radio, the show that covers the outdoor scene across the U.S. of A. and the entire continent. Fishing, hunting, conservation, outdoor recreation, and great destinations, we cover it all every week. It's your country, your outdoors. Let's explore it together with your host, John Cruz.
Welcome to America Outdoors Radio, sponsored by Shiloh Inn & Suites, offering affordable excellence at their hotels located throughout the western United States. Find out more at shilohins.com. We've got a very special show for you today. We are going to be bringing you the second annual Danzante Bay Fishing and Golf Tournament, recorded at Villa del Palmar Resort in the islands of Loreto, as well as Puerto Escondido and on the Sea of Cortez. This tournament, it's a Dorado tournament, it's a Marlin tournament. Here are the rules, here are the prizes. It's a 2-day tournament, and boats with up to 4 anglers in each boat are looking to catch a Dorado that weighs at least 12 pounds. That's the minimum qualifying weight. The biggest Dorado caught over this 2-day period is going to net the winning team a 100,000 peso check. That's about $6,500 US right now. Second place will get 30,000 pesos, and third place will get 20,000 pesos. That's the Dorado category. On the second day of the tournament, anglers are also going to be looking for marlin, and here's why. The biggest black or blue marlin caught, it's got to weigh at least 200 pounds, is going to net that team an entry into the Bisbees tournament that takes place in Baja. Now, if you haven't heard of the Bisbees tournament before, let me put it this way. These are some high-paying tournaments. We are talking about literally millions of dollars in prize money that's being given away. And the entry fee that comes with the win for the biggest marlin here at this tournament is worth $6,500. There's a golf tournament, too. Now, this one's a little more lower key. The first 2 days are the fishing tournament. The third day is the golf tournament. And some people that are golfing are not fishing. Some people that are fishing are also golfing. The top prize for the golf tournament is a stay at the beautiful Villa del Palmar Resort at the islands of Loreto, which hosted 9 members of the press to cover this event. There are well-known writers from Southern California. I was invited to attend to cover this event. They even had writers and radio hosts from places like Little Rock, Arkansas, and Tampa Bay, Florida, who all came here just to cover the second annual Danzante Bay Fishing and Golf Tournament. All together, it's a 3-day event, but we're going to distill it for you in just an hour. One of the press members we're going to talk to is Gary Graham. He covers the Baja fishing scene. He's been doing so for years, and he will give you his forecast for what he expects to happen during this tournament. All of this fishing may get you excited about coming down to Baja, Mexico and fishing yourself, and that's why we're going to be talking to Renee Ollinger. She's an expat who moved to Loreto. She's an independent contractor who works with FONMAR. That is the organization that sells fishing licenses, and what you're going to find out is that it's really inexpensive to fish down here, in that it's really easy to get your license to do so. After we talk to Renee, we're going to get the day 1 weigh-in results from the weigh-in site, and then we're going to hop on board the cast and reel operated by Outpost Charters for the second day of fishing. We'll be on board as they look for the biggest marlin and biggest Dorado in hopes of winning this tournament. When we get back on shore, we'll hit the links and talk to Danny Garcia. He's the golf pro at Villa del Palmar Resort in the islands of Loreto and the Danzante Bay Golf Course. This is a beautiful course. Danny's going to tell you all about it, and he's going to share some really big news that you golfers are going to want to hear about. We'll wrap things up with the final results from the fishing tournament as well as the golf tournament. But before we get to the end, we need to start at the beginning. So let's try to figure out how this tournament may unfold. We're talking to a man who covers the fishing scene throughout the Baja Peninsula. He's been doing it for years. His name is Gary Graham. You're going to find his articles in a lot of different places, and we thought if anyone has an idea of how the fishing's going to be tomorrow, it's going to be Gary. Gary, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Happy to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
It's great to talk to you again. You've been on a couple times before because you're pretty much an encyclopedia when it comes to knowing everything there is to know about the fishing scene here in Baja. And last year was tough. It was the first annual tournament last year at Danzante Bay. The water was cold. The Dorado were not in. Not a lot of Dorado were caught. How do you think it's going to be tomorrow?
Oh, I think there'll be a lot of Dorado seen and caught. I think it'll be picking through them to get the good-sized ones. But I know there's some 30-pound fish here. I know they were caught the day before a tournament that happened 2 weeks ago. They caught some really nice-sized fish, and then the weather kicked up on the day of the tournament, and they couldn't get out where the fish were. The fish are a little bit further offshore, but there are definitely some nice-sized quality fish. But there'll be plenty of Dorado to be seen and caught, and I think it'll be a fun tournament.
For our listeners who aren't familiar with the species, depending on where you're at in the world, they're called dolphin, they're called mahi-mahi, they're called Dorado. In Mexico, what is so special about these fish that bring people from all over North America, and for that matter, the world, to come here and try to catch them?
They're colorful. They call them Dorado, and that's because they're gold, and they're very pretty in the water. They're very aerobatic. They jump quite a bit, and that's another fun feature about them. And they eat like crazy. If they're there, it's the most fun thing in the world. When they're going off, you can fish fly, you can fish spinning, you can fish whatever you want. You quit, they don't.
So when it comes to finding Dorado, are you essentially looking for bait fish that are active, and that's where you're going to find the Dorado? And if so, you just mentioned several ways you can catch them.
You can catch them almost any kind of discipline that you would want to do, but in addition to that, what you're really looking for here is sargasso that's floating on the surface, as well as balls of sardina. It's not sardine here, it's sardina, which is really a flat iron herring, so it's a little bit different than the normal run-of-the-mill sardine. It's a lot fatter and not quite as long, but that's the big bait here, and that's what everybody's looking for, and that's been tough to find this year and for the last several years. But there seems to be more this year than there has been. So, I think there's every chance that there's going to be some good catches tomorrow.
So, here's another question for you. You explained the sardina. You didn't explain the sargasso. And I presume this is floating weed beds? Are they using it for cover? Why are they looking for this?
Exactly for that reason. It's cover, and it's hot here. So because of the sargasso, the bait fish gather under it because of the shade, and it's cooler water beneath it. And that's what attracts the Dorado and so on. That's kind of the food chain, the way it all works. But the sargasso grows on the bottom till it reaches a certain point, dies, and then it floats to the surface. The last few years, we haven't seen a lot of it. There seems to be, from what I understand, a lot more this year, and I think that'll make a big difference. It certainly gives you something to hunt for.
Question for you. I've always wondered this about Dorado. Why does their color change so quickly once they're out of water, if you know?
I don't think I know the answer to that. I do know that they also are, you had mentioned that they grew, or they ate a lot and they grew fast. They grow very fast. A Dorado that's born within the first 6 months will be up to around 3 or 4 pounds.
Last question for you. I know there was a Dorado tournament. It was the Dorado Shootout, Van Wormer Resorts down in Los Barillas just a couple of weeks ago. The top Dorado there was a 61-pounder. There was a couple over 50 pounds caught there. What do you expect it's going to take to be a winner tomorrow here at Danzante Bay?
Probably it's going to be something above 20, maybe 30. I think that somebody will stumble across one, the bigger one, if they're patient. What happens, there's a 2-fish limit. So a lot of times what happens is people will take whatever the first 2 that come along, and I preach this over and over. In fact, I just wrote a column about it. Don't keep the first thing that shows up. Keep fishing. Let it go. Don't take it out of the water. Just turn it loose and go ahead and wait till that big one comes along, because they'll come.
Well, we're both going to find out tomorrow just how big that Dorado is going to be. Gary, if folks want to read some of the great stuff you publish about fishing down here in Baja, where are some places they can read it?
They can find me at bdoutdoors.com, or they can read my columns in Western Outdoor News, which is also online, and it's won.com, and Pacific Coast Sport Fishing, which is a print magazine, and that's on the West Coast.
That's Gary Graham, folks, with his analysis of how things are going to go tomorrow. We're all going to find out in just a little while how it shakes out. Gary, thanks for sharing this with us on America Outdoors Radio.
Thanks. Good luck tomorrow.
Are you ready for your best of the West affordable summer vacation? Hello, I'm Mark Hemstreet, owner of Shiloh Inns. Many of the big hotel chains will have hidden extra fees for things like parking, internet, so-called resort fees, and lots more. The list is as long as it is sneaky. But at Shiloh Inns and Suites Hotels, there are no hidden fees. Shiloh amenities are all free, like Shiloh's spacious pools and spas, steam and sauna rooms, fully equipped fitness centers, and even the kids stay free. And don't forget that Shiloh Inns also provide a free continental or full hot delicious breakfast at most Shiloh Inns. Now that's affordable excellence. For reservations, call 1-800-222-2244 or visit our website at shilohinns.com. Smoke-free and dog-friendly Shiloh Inns. American family-owned and proud of it.
Looking to reel in the marketing opportunity of a lifetime? Then set the hook, because we've got it right here. America Outdoors Radio has sponsorships available, and we offer an affordable platform to reach thousands of listeners interested in fishing, hunting, and the outdoors. Find out more by contacting host John Cruz through his website at AmericanOutdoorsRadio.com. That's AmericaOutdoorsRadio.com. But hurry, if you wait too long, this big opportunity might just get away. That's AmericaOutdoorsRadio.com.
Want to go fishing and make money? You are in luck. This year's Pike Minnow Sport Reward Fishery kicks off May 1st. Just register at a check station and go fishing for 9-inch or longer northern pike minnow within designated waters of the Columbia or Snake River. Then you bring your fish back and collect a voucher good for a cash reward. The more fish you catch, the more they're worth. $5, $6, and $8 per fish. Catch a pike minnow with a special tag and you've landed $500. Find out more at pikeminnow.org. That's pikeminnow.org.
Back with America Outdoors Radio, I'm John Cruz. We continue to broadcast from Loreto, Mexico. That's where the second annual Danzante Bay Fishing and Golf Tournament is taking place, presented by Villa del Palmar Resort in the islands of Loreto. And we hope we've whetted your appetite for some of the great fishing opportunities around here for Dorado, for marlin, for all sorts of different species. I was actually out today in a kayak and had something smash my line and break me off in a hurry, but also trolled up a couple of triggerfish using, of all things, a Daredevil spoon. So if you're thinking of fishing while you're down here, you need to get a license. And with us here to tell you how to do that is Renee Ollinger. She operates a kayak and sport fishing business here in Loreto, Mexico, and she also works with FONMAR, and FONMAR issues licenses for sports fishing in Baja, Mexico. Renee, great to talk to you again.
Nice to see you again, John.
So, Renee, let's go ahead and talk first off about the website for FONMAR, because I think that's where we're going to start sending people right away.
Absolutely. Our website is bajasursportfishing.com, and it's a great site, written all in English. It's very user-friendly, easy to purchase a day, a week, a month, or an annual fishing license, and it's quick and easy. You download the PDF, and you're ready to go. So
something else we need to talk about besides that is how affordable it is to fish down here. I mean, you can pay an arm and a leg for non-residence fees in certain places, but fishing here in Baja for a day, for a week, it doesn't cost much money at all.
No, a day pass is only a little over $10 a day. Or you can get a year if you're coming back more than once or twice, or fishing for more than a week. And that's somewhere right around $40 right now with the conversion rate.
That's cheaper than where I live in Washington State to get a fishing license as a resident. Are you listening, Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife? Let's talk about something else. A lot of states you have to buy stamps. So there's salmon stamps, there's steelhead endorsements, there's this, there's that, and they all seem to cost money. Do you have those sort of stamps you have to buy here in Baja too?
No, we don't. We use a 10-point system. So each day you're allowed 10 points for the big fish, like a marlin. A marlin's 5 points. You're allowed 1 per day. Dorados, those are 2.5 points. So you're allowed 2 per day, maximum of 2. The rest of the fish, yellowtail, you're allowed 5 per species per day, but you could add all this up to get 10 points.
Fantastic. And one other thing that's worth talking about here, if for some reason you didn't buy your license online, or you're in a place where you don't have internet access, even though that's hard to find anymore because all the resorts seem to have it, are there places that you can go to here in Loreto to buy a fishing license, or anywhere else in Baja? Are there sporting goods stores or similar places?
Here in Loretto at the marina, we have an office at the marina where you can walk in the morning. It opens at right around 5 o'clock, so you can walk in and purchase it, and it's the same price as online, so it's great. Many other cities at marinas, Cabo, we have many people at the marina. La Paz, there's even kiosks in La Paz and Cabo where you can go to mini supermarkets, and when they have a government kiosk, you could buy it there.
Well, folks, pretty obvious that getting a license to fish here in Baja is A, easy to do it online, or do it once you reach your destination. B, very affordable. And the last thing I want to talk about is that if you're fishing from shore, and this blew me away, you don't even need a license to fish from shore.
Absolutely not. Nope. This is only if you're on a boat or any kind of water vehicle, you need a license. Other than that, you're free to fish as much as you want from land.
Unbelievable. So the bottom line is this, folks. If you're coming here to Baja, bring your fishing pole or get a fishing pole. There's no excuse not to fish. After all, you don't even need a license from shore. And if you're going to be fishing off a boat, as you just heard, it's very, very affordable to do. What is the website one more time, Renee?
It is www.bajasur.sportfishing.com.
All right. Now, Renee, we've got about a minute left, and I've saved this minute because I want you to talk about your business that you operate here in Loretto.
My business is Baja Peninsula Adventures, and we have pangas and super pangas. And our specialty, which is one of the very few in Baja, is Hobie Pro Angler kayak fishing. So we mothership you out to the islands, to reefs, to different locations. We drop the kayaks, and the panga stays there with you for support, but we let you fish. If we need to change locations, we hook the kayaks up, tow you to the next spot, and you spend all day fishing, and it's a really great option.
Sounds like a fantastic way to spend a day in Loretto and a fantastic way to spend a vacation in Baja. Renee, we've got to go, but let's give out your website one more time, too.
BajaPeninsulaTours.com.
That's BajaPeninsulaTours.com. And one more time for that Phone Mars site, too.
BajaSurSportFishing.com.
There you go, folks. Fishing in Loretto, fishing in Baja. It's easy, it's affordable, and it's waiting for you. Renee, thanks for sharing this with us on America Outdoors Radio.
Thank you, John.
All right, it's time for the day one weigh-in results. We had a bunch of boats go out today, a bunch of boats come back, and with us here to tell you how things went is the tournament event coordinator, Carlos Velasco. Carlos, how did folks do today?
Well, they did very well. We just got a fantastic day. The weather behave a little bit better than last night. We had kind of a little raining going on, but anyways, everybody have fun. That was the main idea, to have a really great time with the family just outside. Enjoy, couple of beers, why not? And see who is the one who wins and get the big prize.
Speaking of the big prize, this is primarily a Dorado tournament. There were Dorado caught today. And as a matter of fact, there's Dorado in the area, that's for sure. However, the Dorado, the size wasn't that big that we were bringing in today. In fact, the biggest fish, only 10.1 pounds. There were some that were right up there around 9 and 10, but nothing that busted the 12-pound minimum today.
That's right. We want to respect the species, but anyways, the competition is very clear. We got to do it over 12 pounds, so we can get the prize for somebody. Now, remember, we're going to do the second and third prize for a noble cause. If nobody wins that, we're just going to give away that money. The first prize, we're going to give it anyways, and we're really glad to give it away, all the prizes and all the money we got on the whole, jackpots and prizes as well.
Speaking of jackpots and prizes, tomorrow is a special day because marlin is involved. It's black marlin, it's blue marlin. The heaviest marlin is caught gets you a ticket to the world-famous Bisbee's Offshore Tournament. Invitation only. I understand it's like a $5,000 entry fee, and that's waived if you win tomorrow with the biggest marlin. Is that correct?
That's correct. We're just throwing the hands out of the window, and of course, Bisbee is part of our sponsorship, on this tournament. So they're just throwing away one of either the East Offshore or the Bisbee's tournaments that we're going to give away for, the people that just come and visit us and play with us. So we'll give it to the biggest marlin, to the heaviest marlin tomorrow. And we, of course, we'll have a jackpot open for that option as well for Dorado,
So the 100,000 peso jackpot is still up in the air for the biggest Dorado. It's wide open, folks, at the end of day one. We're going to see what happens on day two. And we've got that kicker of the marlin tournament as well, that whoever brings in the biggest marlin is going to be competing at the world-famous and high cash prize Bisbee's tournament. Carlos, I can't wait till tomorrow.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. Of course, everybody's waiting to see here, and we're really anxious to see what's going on tomorrow. Everybody's really excited, and we're ready for everybody. Thank you so much for the opportunity, all right?
Leupold Gold Ring Optics are built to perform at the highest level, shot after shot, year after year. Our rifle scopes, binoculars, spotting scopes, rangefinders, and more always come through when you need them most. That's why our American-built products have a lifetime guarantee. Or as we like to say here at Leupold, they are guaranteed for a lifetime of performance, not a lifetime of replacement. Find out more about our top quality gear and our lifetime guarantee at Leupold.com. Leupold, America's optics authority.
It's time America honored its police again. I'm Wayne LaPierre with the NRA. Help us back our blue by donating your vehicles to NRA Cars for Freedom, and we'll come pick them up. Donations are tax deductible and will support the NRA Foundation's law enforcement training to active and retired police officers. Help us back our blue. Visit NRACarsForFreedom.com or call 1-866-NRA-GIFT today.
It doesn't matter what sort of adventure you're after, whether it's big game deep in the backcountry, a day of fishing out on the water, or an overnight in the great outdoors. At Sportsman's Warehouse, we've got the gear in here for what you need out there. Gear up for your next adventure at one of the Sportsman's Warehouse stores or shop online. Sportsman's Warehouse, America's premier outfitter.
Welcome back to America Outdoors Radio. I'm John Cruz. We're broadcasting on the Cast and Reel. It's owned by Jay Yaden. He is the owner of Outpost Charters. We've been participating in this second annual fishing and golf tournament for Don Zante Bay, presented by Villa del Palmar Resort in the islands of Loreto. Jay, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Well, Jay, thanks for having me on your beautiful boat today. Let's do a quick recap of how things are going so far. Been a tough day of fishing for both the Dorado and for the Marlin, not just for our boat, but for all the boats.
Yeah, it's been a little tough. It was a little bit slow this morning. We've had a couple Marlin come check out the jigs. None hungry enough to come up and take it yet. Had a nice bull Dorado come up. Wasn't able to get him to bite, but we're still hoping that we can get that fish before the end of the day.
Absolutely. And boy, it's a shame about that Dorado. Came right up, took a slash at it, was on for just a second or so. And folks, that was probably going to be the winning fish. But again, like you said, it ain't over till it's over. And we're still trolling. If you hear engine noise in the background, that's why. How fast are we trolling for these fish today?
Typically, we're trolling about 7.5 knots. It's a good speed for Marlin or Dorado.
And let's talk about both of these fisheries. We'll start off with the Dorado. We talked to Gary Graham before the tournament started, and he mentioned there was a lot of small Dorado up here near Loreto this time of year, and yesterday that's exactly what we saw caught. When you're fishing for Dorado, how do you go about doing it? And we're talking about bigger Dorado than 10, 12 pounds.
Yeah, you know, Dorado is interesting because Dorados, there's two kind of main things you're looking for when you're fishing for Dorado. One is your water temperature. So water temperature is really important. We're fortunate here in the Sea of Cortez and out of Loreto because the water temperature really picks up. You know, June and July, right now our water temperature is, 87.5 degrees. Dorado are typically in this area biting in any water temperature about 80 degrees or more. So you want to try and find at least 80 degree water. And the other thing that's really important for the Dorado out here is what we call locally sargasso, which is seaweed, so kelp patties, any kind of structure like that. So typically you'll have a structure with a seaweed. Underneath the seaweed, you've got the smaller bait fish that are feeding off of the grass there. And typically this time of the year, there's going to be some Dorado holding underneath those patties. So the idea is, slow troll around those things, get some live bait out in front of them and see what you can hook up to.
That grass has been hard to find today, not just for us, but again, for everybody who's been out here today. So what you've been looking for instead, birds and bait fish, especially flying fish. Why are those indicators?
Yeah, really what we're looking for as far as the birds, we're looking for frigate birds diving down. Usually if you see birds, 2 or 3 birds circling and diving down, they're typically over bait or they're over one of the patties. And so that's a great indicator that there might be some fish that direction. So that's usually what we look for. Flying fish are great as well. It's life in the water. They feed on those fish. So, any type of life in the water is obviously a good thing.
And let's talk about depth. It's 2,500 feet deep, but it's really simple when it comes to Dorado. You're right on the surface. I mean, you've got 4 rods hooked up, and we're just trolling right on the surface. What are you using?
We've got a couple feathers out right now. Right now we've got 3 feathers out and 2 marlin jigs.
Let's slow down and talk about exactly what kind of a lure a feather is, and describe a marlin jig as well.
So the marlin jigs are typically much larger jigs, tend to replicate. One of the ones we have out right now is looks supposed to be a yellowtail, a lot larger jigs. The Dorado typically they come after the feathers and the much smaller jigs. So marlin will hit both, but the bigger marlin will definitely hit the marlin jigs, and those Dorado typically stay away from the marlin jig. So that's why we're trolling both right now. So we're fishing for both species at the same time.
And that kind of segues into the other topic, and that's the marlin. So we're after black and blue marlin today. Those are the ones that if you catch one of them, you get an invitation, an entry fee into the very well-known Bisbee's tournament. But we've been seeing striped marlin today. Why don't you describe that fishery? I understand it's pretty good around here.
Yeah, the striped marlin fishing in Loretto is great. This time of the year is when it really starts to pick up, when that warm water comes in. You have days out here like today, it's obviously very calm, where you can see a lot of marlin tailing. I mean, we've had days where we've seen 15 or 20 striped marlin on the surface, just kind of sunbathing. So, this tournament, like you said, is really all about black and blues, so you can get into that Bisbee. And, you fish for the stripers as well as the black and blue the same way. It's just those black and blues obviously are a much, much larger fish. The average striper caught here is probably about 120 pounds or so, whereas you get those blues that, get up into the 600-700 pounds. So, we're out there looking for them, and we'll see if we can get any.
Now, when we have seen fish and they don't take, I've noticed that you immediately hook up live bait and you feed that out there. What kind of live bait are you using? Does some live bait work better than others?
Yeah, what we're fishing is mackerel. So typically, there's a lot of different methods. There's a lot of different ways that people fish for marlin. What we particularly like to do is we troll the jigs. If we see a marlin coming up, checking it out, we'll try to keep them entertained long enough to get a live bait out. And the idea is to bring the marlin up closer to the boat with the jig and then replace that jig with a live bait. That's typically, what the objective is. It doesn't always go as planned, but in a perfect world, that's how you'd like it to happen.
Well, now we know how to do it. Let's talk about your operation, and we've got to start off with the boat. I mean, this is beautiful. What does it measure?
So this is a 40-foot lures. It's a year 2000. It's a great boat. We've re-outfitted the whole boat, all brand new Simrad electronics, all new gear, and the boat's been running great, and it's been very good to us. So we're very fortunate.
Well, folks, it's your classic fiberglass cruiser, but bigger than you're probably used to. Again, at 40 feet from the transom all the way to the tip of the bow, that's a lot of room, and ample space in the back, so you can fight your fish and have a lot of room to move around there. Love the bridge up top as well. Love the big berth you've got down below. I mean, this is just like a great boat, very comfortable to fish in too.
Yeah, thank you. No, when we were looking for boats to set up the charter operation here in Loretto, we went with the Express model. So this is the Lures Express model, or Open, as some people know it as. And we like it typically because it allows interaction from, kind of inside down to the deck where people are fishing. So on a lot of sport fishers, they're separated. So the idea is to allow, groups to interact with each other. A lot of people choose to bring their family and wife and kids, so guys can be fishing down, or gals can be fishing down on the stern, and you can still have, the kids watching and being a part of what's going on. So we're really happy with the layout. The boat's been great to us, and, we plan on, expanding, and when we do expand, we want to stick with the same type of boats.
Oh, I don't blame you a bit. And folks, you can come down here and you can fish on a panga, which is basically, for lack of a better word, a big skiff, and it probably has a little bimini top to keep some of the sun off, but it doesn't have an enclosed head like this one does. You really can't get out of the sun very well in one of those pangas. A panga is basically designed for what? The hardcore fisherman, is that a good way to put it? And this is much more family friendly?
Yeah, absolutely. We target a lot of families, a lot of larger groups. We host groups, up to 8 on the boat. Typically, we do 6 people fishing, but if they want to bring a friend or their spouse along, kids along, the boat's definitely big enough to do that. And so it's nice. Down below, you've got air conditioning, you've got a full bathroom, you've got a kitchen, so we're able to prepare different types of food and things like that. And then you still have ample space on the deck for fishing. And we love the Marlin Tower that we have. So it's you got a really nice view up there and nice breeze as well. So it's a big space up there, and we've got everything outfitted up there with all the electronics as well. So you can do everything you got to do, whether you're up on the tower or down here. So
we have got to go, and we haven't even talked about where you're based out of, but they are based out of Puerto Escondido, which is between the Villa del Palmar Resort in the islands of Loreto and Loreto, conveniently located right in between both of them. If you're coming to either location, you really ought to consider booking a trip with Outpost Charters. I think you're going to really enjoy it, just like I've enjoyed my day. And with any luck, we might still catch that winning Marlin or that winning Dorado. Let's give out a website before we go.
Yeah, the website is outpostcharters.com. All of our social media is the same thing. Outpost Charters is the name of the company.
That's outpostcharters.com. Go to the website, check them out, find out more information, and book a trip for next time you're here in Loreto. And like them on Facebook too. They're posting lots of pictures of all the fish they're catching this summer. Jay, thanks so much for a great day on the water, and thanks for sharing it with us on America Outdoors Radio.
John, thank you very much.
Quality and affordable fishing adventure is waiting for you off Vancouver Island with Chad's Coastwide Sports Fishing. Located in Port Hardy, British Columbia, you can drive or fly to your all-inclusive guided fishing vacation. Whether you're after big salmon, heart-fighting halibut, or a cooler full of red snapper and lingcod, you can catch it all here. Better yet, your lodging, meals, and fish processing are all taken care of. Want one more reason to go? The price. With the Canadian dollar exchange rate where it is right now, your U.S. dollar goes further. Space is limited, so go to coastwidesportsfishing.com to book your trip for an incredible fishing adventure.
That's the sound you hear when a fish hits the new Sonic bait fish from Max Lure Company. This metal lure can be cast, trolled, or jigged and will catch just about anything that swims in the sea, the river, or the lake. The Sonic bait fish has a unique vibration and flutter that can be rigged in 7 different ways. With all sorts of eye-catching colors and weights available, you'll be reaching for the Sonic bait fish as your go-to lure. It's the Sonic bait fish. And that's another fish on, only from Max Lure Company.
There's no more majestic, magical, adventuresome country than the Western United States of America to enjoy a great family vacation. Hello, I'm Mark Hemstreet, owner of Shiloh Inns. Shiloh Inns are still offering affordable 4-star accommodations at 2-star prices. Enjoy deluxe smoke-free suites, spacious pools and spas, and fully equipped fitness centers. From free high-speed internet in every room to a free continental breakfast or full, hot, delicious breakfast at most Shiloh Inns. There are no hidden fees like some of the big chain hotels charge. Even the kids stay free, and Shiloh Inns are dog-friendly. For reservations, call 1-800-222-2244 or visit our website at shilohinns.com. Shiloh Inns, affordable excellence. American family-owned and proud of it.
Are you looking to reel in the marketing opportunity of a lifetime? Then set the hook because we've got it right here for you. America Outdoors Radio has sponsorships available, and we offer affordable platforms to reach thousands of listeners interested in fishing, hunting, and the outdoors. Find out more by contacting John Cruz through his website at AmericaOutdoorsRadio.com. That's AmericaOutdoorsRadio.com. Hurry, though. If you wait too long, the big opportunity might just get away. AmericaOutdoorsRadio.com.
Come experience the wonder of Oregon's 7th wonder, the Wallowas. Located in the heart of Northeast Oregon's Wallowa County, you'll find yourself anticipating the thrill of experiencing and exploring this rugged country. Join up with some of Oregon's premier guide services and ride into the Eagle Cap Wilderness, or float the Wallowa, Grand Ronde, or Wild Snake River. Bring the family and experience one of Oregon's 7 wonders, and you'll wonder why you haven't been here before. Your experience begins at WallowaCountyChamber.com.
Backcountry hunters and anglers, the men and women working hard to keep public lands in public hands. Check us out at backcountryhunters.org.
Next on America Outdoors Radio, we continue to broadcast from the 2nd annual Fishing and Golf Tournament at Don Zonte Bay. And our location today is the golf course at Villa del Palmar Resort in the islands of Laredo. We're talking to the golf pro here, Danny Garcia, because this is a fishing and golf tournament. And I understand there's, about 16 people that are participating in the golf tournament?
Yeah, give or take a few, about 16, 17 from what I counted.
Well, we went out and whacked a few balls today, and I've got to admit, this is my second time golfing here. And folks, if you know me at all, I'm not a golfer, but Danny, I got to thank you. My game, such as it is getting a little bit better thanks to your advice and your tutoring.
Hey, luckily the clubs don't know who's swinging them.
No kidding there. This is a beautiful course, folks, and it's right here at the resort. I mean, while you're staying here, yes, you're going to be fishing, you're going to be kayaking, you're going to be hiking, you're going to be snorkeling, doing all those great outdoors activities, lots of wildlife too, enjoying the resort, get pampered there. But make some time for the golf course, because this was actually designed by somebody very well known.
You know, it was designed by Reese Jones, Robert Trent Jones' son. He's known as a U.S. Open golf doctor because he goes out and modifies courses and fixes them to host the National Open. So he's world class, he's world famous. He's probably built and redesigned probably about over 230 courses worldwide. He's a legend.
Well, something else that's legendary is your signature 17th hole. I've never seen anything like it before. Why don't you describe the experience for our listeners?
Well, the 17th is an unbelievable hole. You'll never see another hole like that. When you stand on the tee and you look down into the Sea of Cortez and you see this cliff that jettisons out, and it's got this skinny green. And I think the hardest part of that hole is not your swing, it's not the conditions, it's actually your concentration, because you're so taken aback by the beauty of the hole and the presumed difficulty of it that you get caught up in that and you forget to hit the ball where you want. But it's unbelievable.
Well, the other thing about that hole, too, is that it looks like it's a long ways to that green, but when you actually get to the green and you look back to where you're teeing off, it's not that far at all.
No, when you first stand there, like the black tees are 178 yards, but you forget that you're going down the mountain. So you have to actually take off about 13 to 15 yards. So you have to probably club one club less. You know, then you add the wind conditions, and the wind conditions can vary. I've hit the pitching wedge off the black tees, and I've hit 6-iron. So that's how drastic it changes. And a lot of it is you have to look at which way the wind's blowing, then not get caught up in looking at the beauty of the hole or the difficulty, and just kind of aim and swing and cross your fingers.
Well, I crossed my fingers. I aimed, I swung, and folks, I donated some balls to the Sea of Cortez today, and that's all good.
I want to thank you for that very much.
So as exciting as the 17th hole is and the golf course you have here, the fact of the matter is it hasn't been complete. You've had 11, 12 holes now for a couple of years, but the big news is happening in November. This becomes a full-fledged 18-hole golf course.
Yeah, we when I got here about a year and a half ago almost, they just opened 6 holes about 2 weeks before I got here. And, you know, they're in their growing stages, and there was a few more that were on their way. Eventually, we've ended up with 11 holes. This was later last year. And we've been working on the other holes slowly. It's a marine park, so we need to take our time, get the right permits in order, you know, and it's a slow process. But Reese Jones loves that because he takes his time and he makes sure that every hole is the way he wants it. And the next 7 are out of this world. And I'm literally saying that because when you play 1 and then you go up to number 2, which is a par 5 going up the mountain, then you play 3 that plays over a canyon that's 205 yards from the back, over the canyon into a rock face wall in the mountain. Then you play 4, which goes down the mountain behind a small mountain that is drivable if you play the blue tees. If you're a pretty decent hitter, you could drive the green. Then you got a par 5 that's spectacular looking back at the resort. The variety of holes that we're getting on the new 7 complements what we have right now, and it actually makes it into a world-class championship golf course.
Well, there you go, folks. We're out of time, but if you want to come and stay in a wonderful place, Villa del Palmar Resort in the islands of Loreto is the place for you. And while you're here, make some time to spend a morning or an evening playing this incredible course. The scenery is just breathtaking. Again, you've got desert, you've got rocks, you've got hills, mountains, canyons, and, of course, the Sea of Cortez. It's the Danzante Bay Golf Club at the islands of Loreto. Danny and his staff will be happy to help you out. You're going to have a wonderful time here. Danny, thanks for sharing this with us on America Outdoors Radio.
John, thank you very much, and I invite everybody to come and visit us and play our wonderful course. We'll be done with the course in September. We'll probably be open for 18 holes in November, and our grand opening is the 7th of December for 18 holes. So come and visit us.
You won't regret it, folks. Okay, it's time to share the results from the second annual Danzante Bay Fishing and Golf Tournament. And having just talked to Danny Garcia, we'll start off with the golf tournament results. The third place winner was Cynthia Valdez. She got a very nice prize package from the Golf Pro Shop. Second place, winning $500, was the Chief Operating Officer of Villa del Palmar Resort at the islands of Loreto, Paul Moreno. He's donating his prize-winning money to Casa Hogar. That's a place where kids with no parents or with family problems stay. And the first place winner of the golf tournament, who must have mastered the 17th hole, was Ignacio Gutierrez. He won a certificate for 4 nights and 5 days in one of the deluxe studios at Villa del Palmar Resort at the islands of Loreto, valued at $1,500. Congratulations, Ignacio. Turning to the fishing tournament results. As we mentioned earlier in the show, day 1 was kind of a bust. Nobody could bring a qualifying Dorado to the weigh-in station, but day 2, things went better. The fishing fleet, in essence, split in 2. Several boats stayed in the southern portion of the range where the fishing took place. Our boat was one of them, and that did not turn out to be a winning combination. Nope, the boats that headed north seemed to do better. The third place boat was the Los Compadres del Dorado. They brought in a Dorado weighing 13 pounds. The second place team was fishing on board the Los Primos. They brought in a Dorado weighing nearly 15 pounds. And the first place team, hailing from Loreto, was the crew of the Los Mayates. They brought in a Dorado weighing over 25 pounds. And with that, they won a 100,000 peso check. That's the equivalent of over $6,500 US. As for the marlin, yes, a marlin was caught on that second day. That's the day it counted, and it was a big one. It was brought in by Team Maros from Cabo San Lucas. It weighed 279 pounds, and that team now has an entry into the Bisbee's tournament, their choice of the East Cape tournament or the offshore tournament out of Cabo San Lucas. That entry fee is worth around $6,500. Congratulations to Team Maros and to the Los Mayates team and to everyone else who participated in this fun event. I can't wait to see what happens next year. Whether or not you are looking to go fishing for a big marlin or a Dorado or maybe a yellowtail or something else, if you're heading to Loreto, which is a wonderful destination, you really need to stay at the Villa del Palmar Resort at the islands of Loreto. You're going to find wonderful rooms, over-the-top, fantastic customer service, great food, lots of activities, whether you're into pool time or beach time or want to go kayaking or snorkeling or golfing or hiking or wildlife watching. It's all there at Danzante Bay and at the Villa del Palmar Resort at the islands of Loreto. The website to find out more about this wonderful resort is Via del Palmar, Loreto.com. That's Via del Palmar, Loreto.com. I'd also like to thank the wonderful people at the Via del Palmar Resort at the islands of Loreto, especially Zaira Oliveras. She took such wonderful care of us. She is nothing short of amazing. Thanks to Danny Garcia, not just for helping me improve my golf game, but for all the help he gave all of us that were there. To Carlos Velasco, who put this fishing tournament together, and to Paul Moreno, the Chief Operating Officer, who made all of this possible. My thanks goes out to all four of you and everybody else that made our experience a wonderful one. The website again to book your stay is Via del Palmar, Loreto.com. And while you're on the web, check out our website too. You'll find it at AmericaOutdoorsRadio.com. You can also see some of the pictures of some of the winning fish on our Facebook page. Just go to America Outdoors Radio on Facebook. On the off chance you missed part of this show, you can catch it on an internet station at WRVO Radio. That website, RenoViolaOutdoors.com. We really have to go, but I hope the good Lord blesses you in the week ahead, whether you're going to be recreating in Baja, Mexico, or anywhere else where fishing and nature is abundant. Remember, it's your country and your outdoors.